Hey everybody. First of all, I wanted to say sorry I couldn't be there today. Between overlapping classes and surgery, um, things are a little tough this time of the year. So I am sending in my video of my discussion on my paper that I did for Wayne's class. I looked at the perceptions of educational leadership faculty. I'm looking across the state of Kentucky of educational leadership faculty. Their perceptions on the support and the policies that their institution is making regarding how programs are delivered to students. And so my interest is really in three categories of a fully online program, a blended program where some of the coursework is online, kind of like we're doing in Wayne's class, and then a traditional face-to-face program where there is no online aspect. And so those three factors are some of my variables here. So I'm looking at really just how leadership faculty are perceiving their support from the institution. So how does Wayne look at UK and say, this is great that they're doing this, or maybe this policy needs to change for our type of blended program that we're doing? Um, is the institution driving this kind of change toward more online, or is it naturally happening? So what's going on with that? So in the past, there was a writer for the New York Times this year that published an article that said that most graduate school programs are increasing in student enrollment in the United States, except for education. Education has an attrition rate, so where people are dropping out in graduate programs. So this is master's and doctorate level programs in education. Between the fall of 2010 and the fall of 2011, at a rate of 8.8% of a drop. So the national drop across all programs in all of education is 1.7%. And so for education to have an 8.8%, that's the largest decrease in attrition. Uh, Largest decrease. It's the biggest dropout rate across all programs. And then we have this idea of in the 2000-2001 school year, the 89% of public four-year institutions offered online coursework. Um, by 2005, so just 5 years later, that number rose from 89% to 98%. There were at that time nearly 2.2 million college students taking at least one online class. So skip ahead from 2005 to 2011, and we go from 2.2 million college students to over 6 million college students enrolled in at least one fully online course, um, which is nearly one-third of all higher education students. So to me, that was a pretty astonishing number. So we have this growing movement of online coursework and students enrolling online, yet we have this drop, students not enrolling, decreasing enrollment numbers, especially in the field of education. So it's pretty apparent that students are looking for more online or blended programs, especially in our position of working full-time jobs this week. It's hard to get to all the face-to-face programs, so a blended program on a Saturday works out pretty good. Um, there's a lot of research out there, and my lit review section is maybe a little too big, but some interesting points that I thought I'd bring up would be the type of faculty. So maybe an adjunct faculty member would think that teaching an online class would be great because they could maybe work from home a little bit more. They don't really, they may not have an office anyway at the school, so maybe working from home will be good. The tenure track professor may not see the value in it because they're trying to do research and publish and trying to get tenure and go to their meetings and serve on committees. And so to spend all this time developing and implementing an online or even a blended class can be kind of burdensome and not beneficial to them as a tenure track professor. So they say that online classes take at least 14% more time than a face-to-face class would take in the development and implementation of it. There's funding issues. If I'm a professor and I'm asked to develop an online class, I may want either some time off to do that. I may want some increased funding because that's a little bit over and above my normal requirements as a professor, and so yeah, there's some incentive-based and funding issues. Public funding for schools is cutting way back, yet the schools are asking professors to do more and more and more without increasing their pay. So it's kind of a catch-22 with that system. Grades. Online students are seen to have the highest grades coming out of classes between all three different formats. So a traditional face-to-face student and a blended learning student are getting worse grades by this one study compared to online students. Yet, on the other hand, online students have the highest dropout rate. So again, they're not retaining their students. But the question is just because that was correlation, is it a causation? The answer is no. They found through further analysis that it wasn't because of the program delivery style. It was a subject matter within the courses that were within that study. So I thought that was pretty important to point out that correlation doesn't always cause causation. Doesn't always mean causation. So there's another study that didn't look at faculty perceptions, but instead looked at administrator perceptions on this idea. And 88% of higher education administrators said that online learning is a good thing. It can produce high quality learning and teaching, and it can be a great thing. But then, of that 88%, all of them plus the other 12%, so 100% of administrators that were included in this study, said that face-to-face method would always be preferred over online. So they may see the benefit, but the infrastructure of the institution may not be set up to where people are understanding the actual progression from face-to-face to more this hybrid or blended or fully online model, or the benefits of it. So what's my study? Well, the purpose of it is really all this integration of technology into higher education has kind of been in a really haphazard manner in the past 15 years. So institutions are maybe looking to create policies, or maybe have created policies, on how they're going to implement this technology, or allow technology to be implemented into different programs and into the infrastructure of the institution. So what policies are out there? So there's some different studies that have looked at like what policies are in place, what policies are looking to be in place, and so that's more the administration side of the institution. And I want to look at the faculty perceptions. So I want to see, what do faculty think are the barriers, what struggles are they dealing with institutional reform, or policies that are being thrown down on them. Are they being made to put their program online? I know within our program, there's always the need for increased student enrollment, yet it's a very heavily practitioner-based program, so it's difficult to get student enrollment with totally face-to-face classes. So we have to go to these blended models or an online model just to meet other policies that may not directly discuss the program delivery format, such as online or face-to-face, but it's other things, such as we need to have a certain student enrollment that make our ed leadership faculty think that, okay, we need to go more toward a hybrid or more toward an online program just to get that enrollment up. So I have a few questions that I'm wanting to look at. And basically, I've talked about them all. What faculty perceptions exist related to having policy directed toward program delivery format? What are the faculty members' role in the development of policy for this type of program delivery format? Just questions related around this. So my method, I want to use an exploratory sequential design. So where I want to look at just a semi-structured interview process with 5 faculty members. So my participants, I'm going to get all of the ed leadership programs in the state of Kentucky, and vet the internet and their institutional websites to find a list of all of the ed leadership professors within the state of Kentucky. Have their name, and then I'm going to randomly select 5 of those to do a semi-structured interview with. From that semi-structured interview with those 5 individuals, I'm going to put it into a qualitative software analysis program and do content analysis to find themes among those. And those themes are going to make up the structure of a survey. So that survey will then be, and that's kind of wave 2, that survey would be passed out through email, through Qualtrics, online to the rest of the ed leadership faculty in the state of Kentucky. So it's kind of a 2-way process, but that's how the exploratory sequential design goes. And then with that, the survey results, I will collect those back all through Qualtrics again, run the descriptive stats, see really just the frequency distributions of everything, and then run an ANOVA. Now, I was debating back and forth on whether to go with a some type of a regression model, and I still may, but I think right now the ANOVA and the descriptive stats will give me enough information to see if I want to carry it further, to see if other factors are playing a role within this, or and then I may add the regression model piece to it. So that's kind of designing the participants of my study. Ideally, I would like to get the survey results back in as soon as possible, but the timeline with everything kind of worked out to about 14 weeks or 3.5 months or so. So that's what it's looked like right now. Just to wrap it up, limitations. The study's limited to the single state of Kentucky. It's a really just more of a convenience sampling and location. And then there are the second limitation is that it's just a snapshot view of the educational leadership perception. So it's not based on past. It's not talking about. It's not looking into the future on what could possibly happen. It's just a snapshot view right now. And then a final limitation would be that that the survey that I'm going to develop based off of the semi-structured interview hasn't been normed. So really, again, it's just to capture that snapshot view of what it looks like here in Kentucky about faculty perceptions related to their institutional policies, and how the institution is kind of coming down on faculty and enforcing really different types of program delivery styles. So that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Again, I apologize I couldn't be there. I hope you all are having a wonderful, awesome weekend, and had a great Thanksgiving, and enjoy your winter break. So thanks. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.